Hi everyone, welcome to part 13 of my Kobolds and Catacombs card reviews. Today I've got 6 new cards, so let's get straight into it. Right, let's start by getting the bad card out of the way. This card is called Ironwood Gollum. It costs 4 mana, has 3 attacks, 6 health. It has Taunt, which is quite good, so all of those things are quite good. The stats are pretty decent for 4 mana. It has Taunt, but it does have the text that reads, can only attack if you have 3 or more armor. So there are some cards already in the game that have these effects where they can't attack unless certain conditions are met, and I've always found them to be pretty useless. This one I don't see any different. I mean, if you play the Senjin Shieldmaster, that's exactly the same, except it has 1 less health and it can attack. So, and that card doesn't see play in Constructed very often, so I don't see why you would want to play the Ironwood Gollum. I think probably better is just to play the Tar Creeper. The Tar Creeper is a fantastic card, and being able to play it a turn earlier on turn 3, and the fact that you can have that extra 1 damage on your turn really does make a difference, so you can just attack other minions or like break divine shields and that kind of thing. So Ironwood Gollum's not a good card, I don't think. It is made slightly better by this next card, which is called Oaken Summons. It's another common druid card, but this is a spell. It costs 4 mana. What it does is it gains 6 armor and recruits a minion from your deck that costs 4 or less. So if you play this on turn 4, gain 6 armor and summon your Ironwood Gollum, then yes, that's a good turn, because your Ironwood Gollum will be able to attack the next turn once it's activated, because assuming your opponent can't reduce your armor, but they shouldn't be able to because the Ironwood Gollum is taunting it. So combined, the cards actually work okay. I still don't think it's a huge enough combo for you to want to put it in. Having the Ironwood Gollum in a token deck, for example, is quite good because it can protect your smaller minions before you buff them to attack. But adding these 2 cards in will kind of slow those token decks down. Kind of has you don't particularly want cards in your deck that aren't going to be able to cause the right effects. This is another one of the recruit cards which we need to see some play with to see if it will work, but not for me at the moment. Next up is a card that I think is pretty terrible but could potentially work, and that is the Dragon Hatcher. It costs 9 mana, has 2 attack and 4 health, so those are some of the worst stats we've seen in Hearthstone so far, but it is another one of these recruit minions. So at the end of your turn you recruit a dragon from your deck, so this is going to go in dragon decks, and the advantage of it is, I suppose, is if you play this on turn 9, then you also get to play a dragon on turn 9. So you spend 9 mana, the stats are bad, but at the end of your turn it will recruit a dragon, so you could potentially recruit Ysera or Deathwing. So you're playing those minions a turn earlier, and you're playing them with a minion that has 2/4, so that's quite good. The problems are, of course, you have to still have those minions in your deck, so if you've only got smaller dragons in your deck, it might not be quite as good. Also, if you draw Dragon Hatcher right at the end of the game and you haven't got any minions in your deck, then it's a terrible 9 mana 2/4 card. So as with all of the recruit minions, I think it requires you to build the deck around it, so we still need some testing to see if it works. But another deck where it could potentially work is in the Big Priest. So they have Ysera in their deck quite often, and what they do is on turn 4 they play Barnes, and it summons a 1/1 copy of a minion from your deck. So if you get Ysera, you get a 1/1 Ysera. But if you get Dragon Hatcher, you get a 1/1 Dragon Hatcher, which at your end of your turn will summon a 4/12 Ysera. So potentially that's better than before, where you would just get the 1/1 Ysera. So in that kind of instance it could work, but we'll see. I think it needs some play and some testing. Next up we have a pretty cool card. It's the Rogue Legendary Weapon. I've really been looking forward to seeing the Rogue Legendary Weapon, because Rogue is a class that uses weapons, but in Hearthstone you don't really have that many good weapons to play, apart from their dagger, which is the hero power. But this card is called King's Bane. It's 1 mana, has 1 attack and 3 durability, so nothing special so far, but it does have a death rattle of shuffle this into your deck and it keeps any enchantments. So that is really quite cool. So you can enchant the weapon with any buffs that you've got. After you've used the 3 charges, it dies, goes into your deck, and you can draw it later on. The problems are that I think it's too slow, especially in any rogue deck that's being played at the moment. You don't draw through your deck fast enough, and you don't want to use 2 of your cards on a King's Bane and a buff. So I don't think it would see play in Tempo Rogue, for example. But potentially we'll get a new archetype of deck, like maybe Death Rattle Rogue. Again, I don't see that at the moment, but it could be with some new cards released, or maybe in future expansions it could work. Now when you see this, you think, oh, well, there are plenty of buffs you can put on your weapon. Let's just add all of those enchant cards into your deck. But you don't really need that many. All you need is Envenom Weapon, and that gives your weapon poisonous. So you play 4 mana, you can kill any minion. You can kill any of your opponent's minions, obviously, until your health runs out. So you can also give it lifesteal, which can be quite good, but with the 1 attack, you'd have to buff the attack for it to be really worthwhile. So Envenom Weapon would be a really good way to do it. But once your King's Bane dies, you shuffle it back into your deck. You may never see it, and it's a legendary weapon as well. So unless you're drawing your deck, there's only 1 copy of it. You might never see it in the game as well. So I don't think we'll see it much play, but I do like the idea, and something I think in future expansions we'll see come into play. This next card is another weapon, but this time for the warrior class. It's epic, it costs 2 mana, it's called the Bladed Gauntlet. It has 0 attack and 2 armor. So keeping with the theme of this expansion and just really going crazy with the stats on things, this has got bad stats, but it does have text that says has attack equal to your armor. You're not allowed to attack heroes with it though, which is quite important. So in the new expansion they have released a lot of cards which help you to increase armor. So Dry Whisker Armorer could be quite good. Unidentified Shield could get you up to potentially 15 armor. There's also Bring It On in the set at the moment. So Reckless Flurry is a really impressive removal card which kind of encourages you to have armor. So I think we're going to see those kind of decks played where your warrior does have a lot of armor. So Bladed Gauntlet is not a card like Fiery War Axe that you'll want to play on turn 2. I see this more of a late game removal card. So it's a card that once you've managed to gain your armor, you can play this for just 2 mana, so it would be very cheap removal. And if you've got over 10 armor, you can pretty much just kill any minion on the board. The problem with it is that 1, you have to have the armor, but 2, once you attack the minion, you will lose armor and the attack from the weapon will be reduced, so the next time you use it, it won't be as powerful unless you armor up again. So I like the idea, but will it be used, and will you just not use a Shield Slam? Because Shield Slams are 1 mana, much more efficient removal tool. So if you've got enough attack or enough armor to kill someone with the Bladed Gauntlet, why would you not play the Shield Slam? Bladed Gauntlet does have 2 charges, so that's one advantage, but I don't know, maybe you'll run Bladed Gauntlet and Shield Slam, but I think Shield Slam would work better. The final card to show today is a 6 mana rare Paladin card. It's got 5 attack, 5 health, so not great stats for 6 mana. It does have Divine Shield, but the text reads costs 1 less for each Silver Hand recruit that you control. Now this is similar to a card we've seen in Shaman called Think From Below, which had exactly the same stats, and instead of Divine Shield it had Taunt. Now this was seen a lot of play because all you had to do to reduce the cost of it was to summon totems, and that was a permanent effect. So if you summon the totems on earlier turns, there will be a permanent reduction to the cost of this card. Whereas Crystal Lion, you have to control the Silver Hand recruits. Now, they have introduced a couple of new cards into the game which will make this easier. Dry Gulch Jailer and also Level Up should help you to have more Silver Hand recruits on the board. But to be honest, I don't think there's going to be many situations where you're going to get enough of a reduction to be able to play this Crystal Lion in any sensible kind of manner. Stand Against Darkness is quite good because you could play this, summon 3 1/1 Silver Hand recruits, and then you play your Crystal Lion for 1 mana. So in that case, it's good value. But then you've got a board of 1/1s which you do need to buff somehow, and Level Up costs 5 mana, so you might not be able to do that. overall okay card, but I don't really think we're going to see a deck from Paladin that focuses on Silverhand recruits. They have introduced some new tools to do that, but I'm not convinced that it's strong enough yet. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, because I'll be doing daily updates as the cards come out. And with that said, I'll see you in the next video.